In a quiet corner of Tokyo, where the city lights never truly sleep and the trains run with perfect precision, lived a man named Kenji Takahashi. Kenji was not famous. He was not rich. He was not special in any way that the world could see. He was just another office worker among millions. Every morning, Kenji woke up at exactly 7 a.m. He brushed his teeth, drank a cup of instant coffee, and walked to the train station with hundreds of other commuters. His life was a predictable loop of work, routine, and quiet evenings. Nothing unusual ever happened, until one night, one message changed everything. The first message, it was late in the evening when Kenji returned home from work. The rain outside had just started falling softly against the windows of his small apartment. Kenji placed his bag on the chair, changed into comfortable clothes, and heated a ready-made dinner in the microwave. His phone buzzed. At first he ignored it, but then it buzzed again. Kenji looked at the screen. It was a message from an unknown number. The message read, "Do not stand in front of your office building tomorrow morning at 9:17 a.m. Kenji frowned. He stared at the message for a moment. Probably spam, he muttered to himself. Had received strange messages before. Advertisements, promotions, random scams. Without thinking much about it, he placed his phone down and continued eating dinner. But the message stayed in his mind. Why exactly 9:17? The number felt strangely specific. Still, Kenji convinced himself it was nothing. He went to sleep. The accident the next morning began like any other. Kenji woke up at 7 a.m., coffee, train, crowded station, the same routine. When he reached his office building, it was around 9:10 a.m. A few coworkers were standing outside the entrance, chatting casually before work started. Kenji checked his watch. 9:15 a.m. For a brief moment, the message from last night flashed in his mind. Do not stand in front of your office building tomorrow morning at 9:17 a.m. Kenji shook his head. He stepped slightly away from the entrance to check his phone. 9:16. Then suddenly, screech, a loud sound echoed across the street. A delivery truck lost control at the intersection and slammed into a small car right in front of Kenji's office building. The crash happened exactly at 9:17 a.m. Glass shattered everywhere. People screamed. Workers rushed forward to help the injured driver. Kenji stood frozen. His heart began pounding. His phone slowly slipped from his hand. The message. The message had been right. The second message that evening, Kenji sat alone in his apartment. The television was on, showing news coverage of the accident. The reporter said, fortunately, no pedestrians were seriously injured. Kenji stared blankly at the screen. His mind was racing, then his phone buzzed again. Another message from the same unknown number. Kenji hesitated before opening it. The message said, "So now you believe." Kenji felt a cold chill run down his spine. His fingers trembled as he typed a reply. Who is this? A few seconds passed. Then another message arrived. If you want answers, go to Central Railway Station tonight at 11:40 p.m. Kenji's heart pounded faster. This had to be a prank, but the accident, it had been predicted perfectly. Curiosity slowly began to overpower fear. The meeting that never happened at 11:30 p.m., Kenji stood inside Central Railway Station. The station was nearly empty at this hour. Only a few travelers waited quietly on the platform. Kenji checked his phone again. 11:39 p.m. His eyes scanned the station. There was no one unusual, no mysterious stranger, no person waiting for him. 11:40 p.m. Nothing happened. Kenji sighed in frustration. Is this all just a joke? He whispered. Then he heard a metallic click. Kenji turned his head. Locker number 23 had slowly opened by itself. Kenji walked toward it cautiously. Inside the locker was a small black notebook, a diary. Kenji picked it up. His hands were shaking. On the cover, written in neat handwriting, were 3 words. Kenji Takahashi, his own name. The diary. Kenji rushed back to his apartment. He locked the door behind him and sat at his small kitchen table. Slowly, he opened the diary. The first page read, "If you are reading this, then the timeline has already begun to change." Kenji's breathing grew heavier. He flipped the page. The diary contained detailed notes, dates, events, predictions, earthquakes, political elections, stock market crashes, Many events were dated in the future. Kenji quickly grabbed his laptop and began checking the first few events. The earliest prediction was scheduled for 3 days later, a train delay caused by a power failure. Kenji searched online. No news about it. But the diary described it in incredible detail, the exact time, the exact train line. Kenji leaned back in his chair. His mind struggled to understand what he was seeing. Then he noticed something even stranger. The handwriting in the diary looked exactly like his own. The third message, Kenji's phone buzzed again. Another message. Did you find the diary? Kenji immediately replied. Who are you? The reply came instantly. I'm you. Kenji felt the world spin around him. What do you mean? He typed. A long pause followed. Then the final message appeared. I am you. 10 years from now. Kenji stared at the phone screen in disbelief. He wanted to laugh. It sounded impossible, ridiculous. But the accident prediction had already come true. And the diary, the handwriting was undeniably his. The warning. Kenji turned to the last page of the diary. There was only one sentence written there. Do not read the next message. Kenji looked back at his phone. Right on cue, it buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. Kenji's heart pounded violently. His future self had warned him not to read it. But what if the message contained something important? What if it could prevent disasters? What if it could save lives? His mind filled with questions. He slowly reached for the phone. His finger hovered above the screen. One tap. That was all it would take. One tap. To change the future. The final mystery. Kenji closed his eyes. He remembered the accident. He remembered the diary. He remembered the warning. His phone screen glowed in the dark room. The message remained unopened. Kenji sat there for a long time. Minutes passed, then hours. No one knows what choice he made that night. Some believe he opened the message and changed the future forever. Others believe he ignored it, allowing history to continue unchanged. But one strange rumor still circulates online. Occasionally, people claim they receive messages from an unknown number. Messages that predict events before they happen. Messages signed with only 2 words, from Kenji. Ending, and if you ever receive a message predicting the future, you should ask yourself one question. Is it a warning or a test? Because sometimes the most dangerous knowledge is knowing what comes next.